What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the third edition of the KTSW Chats on the JTM. You know, I didn't think there was going to be a second KTSW Chat this week, but we're here with everybody. Amanda, Connor, Josh. Josh is back. We didn't have him earlier this week. We're glad to have him this time. And Deshaun, the perfect line. All my friends and more than friends that I met at KTSW. And then we've also got a very special guest. This is probably, honestly, shout out to my boy Christian, who's an offensive lineman at North Alabama that I had on the show yesterday. But this is the most excited I've been for a guest on the show so far. We got Stephen Pinchback, head coach of the San Marcos Rattlers here. It's all family in this thing, and we're so glad to have you on, Coach.
Guys, I'm glad to be home, and I'm glad to be with you guys. I listened to you guys on the radio, on the podcast, and that was a big deal to me. I felt that it was genuine, and I felt the same way. So I'm glad to be back here, and this is good to be this is our pack. We have vision. We all have vision for this thing to go a certain way. And so, tonight's going to be a lot of fun. It's just going to be a reunion, but I appreciate you guys allowing me to come on here and visit with you, because I try to leave a piece of me with you guys. So you know that. So that's what we do. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep going. So let's get ready and let's have some fun, because it's on.
For sure. And so I guess to start off with that, for those of you who are listening and may not be familiar with all of us and our relationship, I just like all of us to kind of go through how we all met Coach Pinchback, our relationship with him, and just everything. It's kind of been, I know Deshaun's probably known him the longest because he was working with the Record and covering him and the Rattlers a little bit before us. So just if anybody's free to go first, and y'all can just talk about your impressions and how we all met.
I guess I'll go first. On my screen, I'm on the far left, so it looks like I'm first. Technically, I
last.
I met Coach Pinch after a San Marcos Rattlers actual football practice, and I actually asked Drew if I could write a preview because I knew it was going to be Coach Pinchback's first season, so I felt like they needed a preview into the season as football season was getting ready to end. And I knew Coach Pinchback was a genuine, cool person to interview, not only, but to just talk to outside of basketball and outside of the sport. After writing that preview and interviewing him, I interviewed him one-on-one at his desk. And I remember the funniest line, he was answering the question and he just paused in between and he just pointed to his state championships. And I'm like, dang, I really wish I could do that one day. That's pretty awesome right there. And so just to know that he's trying to build something in San Marcos and has been doing a fantastic job so far, building that family camaraderie and everything, it's been a joy to, be one of the first people to actually talk to him in the city.
Yeah, you're right. I had already been reading some of the things going on, so I just wanted to introduce myself and say hello, because I appreciate what you do for the kids. So anybody that's vested in the kids, they're doing it for the right reason, giving us exposure, and we're going to make it bigger. We're going to incorporate more sports and get them going and shine some light on what they got going on, because the more successful the whole program is as a total, it's good for everyone. So we're going to highlight, because we got a lot of good things going. But I was excited to get with you and visit with you, and I saw a young kid trying to get it. So and you kept talking about your crew. So I was anxious for the crew. I wanted to meet the crew because I like to add people to the family. So it's been good. So I'm excited for what you guys do and for what you were doing. So that's the main reason. You can't always reach out to everyone. You have to be selective with who you invite around and who you have with the kids, and just not that they're doing harm. Just you have to be selective and run your program the way you want. So I saw what you had going on. So I said, I guess you were all right to let in.
Yeah, I think it was slowly, one by one, we started to join this crew, and it's just incredible to see how far we've come in really short little time, because it really hasn't seemed that long since we first met. I remember I met Coach Pinchback with Jude. We went to a practice one day. I had no idea who Coach Pinchback was because I had never met him. I went to a San Marcos High School football game earlier in the season, so I was just starting to figure out who and what San Marcos High School was all about. I had all my questions ready on a little note card. I had about like 5 questions, and I walk in. I had no idea where the gym's at, so I'm like, "Hey, coach, like, where's the gym? Where's the gym?"
I remember we were walking through Clueless.
Yeah, but we're walking like through the front office. We're getting funny looks. Like, who are these people? But thankfully, Coach Pinchback was there to save us. But the second that we started talking to him, it's like I had to put my like note card away. It went from an interview to a conversation. And I've had a few interviews with other coaches, and that was like the first time where I genuinely like that was a conversation. And I really appreciated everything that Coach Pinchback stood for. And it made me excited both as a fan and as a reporter for San Marcos basketball, knowing that, like he said, all season he was building a monster in San Marcos. Like he stuck to it, he believed in it, and now you can see it's starting to build. So to this day, he still gets me hyped, gets me chills every single time he speaks. Everything that this man says, Coach, I believe in you.
And hey, you're earning all that money I have to give you after this. So I really appreciate it. You're great. But, you know, you have to have a vision, guys. And we always circle up, right? We're in a circle. Our guys, like, we got to keep it tight. We got to keep it right. And sometimes you have to let different people in your circle to help your circle, like, shine the brightest, right? Because I'm just one person with a dream, and then Coach Napoli's like another person with the same dream, and then we give it to the kids, and it just starts building, and going, passing that. So I want to do a conversation with you guys, like, so we can talk about it and share what we got going on. And I think it means more, right? Like, we want to do everything we can for the kids, but sometimes the conversation about what's going on in San Marcos is what needs to happen, because there's good things, and you guys are bringing attention to that, and you're highlighting kids. So you're a servant just like we are. So that's why you're in the circle, because each of you have something that helps finish the circle, each of you. So you bring something to the table. So I enjoy hearing how we met, because you guys are important. So keep going, please.
I think it's kind of funny because the way we're going in a circle, it's like we're going in order.
That's how it works, man. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, because it's going Deshaun, it's going Jude, then it's going Josh, and me, because I was kind of like, I kind of got implemented. I think it was a Judson game at home, and I remember before I even met you, I was going through like audio, video, hearing you talking about the team, like we're building a monster in San Marcos. I was like, man, this guy has a lot of passion. And I went, man, I can't wait to meet him.
Can I interrupt, Connor? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, but like, so what this was is he was listening to like the audio of the interview for like whenever we put it on sports updates on the radio and stuff after me and Josh got that interview. So even though he wasn't really meeting you, he kind of was the first time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
because you had mentioned his name a few times before I met him. So no, you told me to let him in. You said he's a good guy. So I trusted you. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and then I remember when I actually first met you, you walked up to me, shook Jude, Josh's, then my hand. And I remember one of the biggest things I took away from like that whole game was afterwards when we talked with you, and you always tell us no thank you. And we kind of talked about that in the last podcast about like how appreciative are you of us, and it means the world to us because we want to cover sports, but you showed us more than that. You're willing to open up to us and show like, no, this is more than basketball. I am trying to teach it. I'm trying to show a community how to lead these young men to becoming men. And it's really beautiful to see, because you don't see a lot of that. You don't see a lot behind the scenes. And the fact that you were so open to us, it meant the world to, I know, Jude, me, and I know that's why me and Jude and everyone that's here loves to cover San Marcos, because you are so open with us. And I love other teams are like that. And it's just fantastic to see. And it's what got me hooked. It was that first meeting in that Judson game. That was one of the first takeaways I had.
Guys, we're game changers, man. We're changing the game around here. You know, you do a good deed, like you help, and you have passion, you know, and you're young, you're full of life, and so you bring life to us. I'm not gonna say I'm old, but I'm not gonna say I'm young either, but you make me feel young having you guys around, and I share a lot of things with you, a lot of the vision that other people can't see, you know, because you're a part of it, like I've been saying. And I'm gonna keep that theme, because I came down here, it's all about relationships and the bonds you form and the people you know and you can help grow, because we all help each other, whether you see it or not. Like it's amazing, you know? So I always tell y'all thank y'all because I am appreciative. I'm just a West Texas kid that came to work hard and had a dream and went and tried to go get my dream. And so a part of chasing that dream brought me here. And then, because the story's crazy. Like, I could tell you, they wouldn't even believe it, but my story is like, because my story is like from somebody bigger than us. So that's why I can talk about it. You wouldn't believe me, but that's how it happened. So, and we might get into that. We'll see. But he has a plan and he has a path, and that's why we come into each other's lives. So you guys are a special crew, man. And I can feel the love. And so it just feeds, right? And that's why you have to have positive light around your kids, because it takes a community to win a championship. You know, I want to build men and young people because I'm a servant, you know, but I'm very driven. And San Marcos is waiting for that they're waiting to explode, right? Like, they need to feel what it's like to be a champion. And we're going to be headed that way because we're going to compete. And we know we have the blueprint. Like, we have it. There's not a lot of guys around here can say they've been to a state championship, more or less 2 or 3, right? So let's get it.
I guess I'm last because I met you last.
Yeah.
But
They always save the best for last, so you're good.
exactly. I came into KTSW in beginning of January, but I remember Jude just kept saying, like, oh, San Marcos. And I was like, no, I want to do Texas State, like, you know, the big, like, you know, college, like, let's do Texas State. And then I went to the first game and I was like, nope, doing San Marcos, like, don't want to do Texas State, I'm good. And I remember Deshaun and I were sitting in the stands. I was getting ready to do my halftime interview and I was freaking out. Like, absolutely, like, shaking. Like, I was like, I'm gonna waste his time because, like, he could be spending the time with his kids in the locker room. But I remember you were just like, okay, let's do this. Like, you made me feel so comfortable doing it, and, like, not like it was forced, but it was just like a flowing conversation, which I loved. And like Connor said, how you say no thank you to us just makes us feel really appreciative and really thankful to have you.
I appreciate it. No, I mean, you were a little nervous, so we had to make it right. You know, you have guys on your staff that can go talk to the kids because, you know, we're on the same page. So, you know, you're an asset. So hopefully maybe one day what I tried to do will help you no matter where you go, you know, so you have to do that. People did that for me. I try to do that with each of you. Sometimes you forget, but you still try to always do it, you know, and I felt it went smooth and I felt you had a good time. So it was worth it, right? You know, we had an interview, we did our thing. And so the next time you will be better, then the next time you'll be better. So it's all about growing, right? Trusting the process. So I just wanted you to see the process could be smooth.
Yeah,
And Amanda, did you tell Coach Pinchback what award you won for KTSW?
oh, I got best stand up.
Yeah.
See,
I
told
beat
you.
Jude, so
Well, he's probably used to that. So, I mean, I heard your last, so.
Jude, you called it. He said he was gonna mess with you during this.
Yeah.
Hey, no, we're even kilter, guys. No, that's our talk. So you have to be in to know what's going on. So I'm gonna give him a hard time just because, you know, he's the mastermind. So I gotta play with him a little bit. Just keep him on edge. You never know.
I don't know if I'm a mastermind, but I do my best. But so one of the crazy things is I remember, like, we met at the football game, and I don't know how you heard about me, but somehow you knew who I was. And because really, like, I feel bad. Like, I'm not trying to, like, toot my own horn here, but, like, for San Marcos High School football, I was there every Tuesday, Thursday for practice. And I know that was a relationship that we kind of there had been some inconsistencies in the past. So we had to kind of rebuild that with Coach Soto. And being with him and calling all the games for the football team, you know, coach, or not coach, but Dan Schumacher, he's our manager at KTSW. He brought up the idea of maybe calling some San Marcos High School basketball games. And then I remember Josh really got on it. And then we had that interview. We were all there. We had heard a little bit from Deshaun as well. And I just remember getting back from that interview, going into the KTSW office. And, like, honestly, I had been in kind of like a slump after San Marcos High School football ended. I hadn't been as motivated or inspired. But after that interview, I told Garrett, our director, I remember I was like, bro, I was like, I will do whatever you want to cover that team. Like, I will bust my ass. Like, no, sorry for the curse word, but like, I was like, that is something special, and it is going to be a ton of fun. So that was kind of just my experience there. And then of course we were at all the games, calling them, reporting. I mean, every game I was like, I don't care how many people are there. Like, I'm going, because it's so fun. And like you said, I mean, y'all are building something, and you can feel it when you're there.
It's coming, guys. It's coming. They're not scared of work. You know, to be a champion, you have to work hard. You have to be willing to do the things that no one else is willing to do, because they don't give those away, right? You have to earn it. And it's not just basketball, but I got to make sure they're good men, you know, good fathers, husbands, and professionals, and, you know, leaders. So if you do it that way, you're going to get the greatest result. You know, with that championship team in 16, I had those kids in the 6th grade. We were all at McCowan together, you know, talking about it like, hey, we're going to get to the high school together. We're going to win state. We're going to all be together, do it as family. I said, you don't win state as a junior or senior or sophomore. Like, you have to start winning state in the 6th and 7th and 8th grade. That's how we ran our program at McCowan. You run your program like it's a high school. And we had really good players, you know, that's part of it, but it was a belief. And when those kids were in seniors like KD Nixon and Visca Chenault, like those guys, they played for me, right, at Colorado. It was a belief. And when they were seniors, like, they won state. And then the guys that I had, the other guys, Marquise and those guys, we won state. 4 of the 5 starters were from McCowan at my school. So we had to groom them then. The kid that won MVP, Tristan, he went to Oregon. He was a football player, quarterback. We brought him back, right? He came home, and he was the MVP of state. But we talked about it when they were in the 6th and 7th grade, building that. And that's what we're doing now. I'm a little bit behind here, but I go down and see some of the younger kids, because we have to put that dream. And like I told the guys, we were going somewhere one time. I picked them up for practice or whatever we did. And we passed the water tower, and I was looking at it. They're like, "What you looking at, Coach?" It was like Caden and Malik, or maybe Vega. Like, what are you looking at? I said, "That water tower." They're like, "Why are you looking at it?" I said, "We're going to have state champs on there." And so every time we would pass that water tower, now they're looking and seeing it. And that's how you build it. True story. So that's what it's about, that right there, that moment.
That's crazy. And it's funny that you mentioned the middle school, because I know that while you weren't there, I know that Isaiah and Caden and Malik and John, they all went to Goodnight under my like understanding.
Yes.
So I know you weren't there, but from what you've seen, do you think that process was already being built at Goodnight when they were there?
Yeah, they're very driven guys. They're not like regular freshmen. So, you know, and they have older brothers for the most part, and those that don't, you know, they have a big sister or whatever, but they don't have that same mindset as what some of these guys have. And it's not their fault, right? It's just like, even when I was at Lehman, you know, it's a mindset. Like, when we were at DeSoto, like when we came out, we knew we were fixing to dominate you. It's like it was already there. So we had teams beat just by walking, even if they might have been better than us. You know, they had everything. It's a mindset. So you have to change the mind. At Lehman, they had that mindset, and then they just started building, right? They started believing, and it changes.
Yep.
Then you walk a little different. And those kids, those young kids have it. We're going to be young. That's why I played them. You know, I try to do my best to give everybody their time, right? But, you know, I came here for like the long term. And for me to have some success, or for us to have some success, we had to play those kids because they're good. And I've seen good kids. Come on, Dontre Wilson, Cyrus Gray, Vaughn. I mean, it's just a lot. Jay Mills, or the list goes on, right? You know, Taylor Young that was at Baylor, just a monster. Those kids, like, most of them went to my school. So I know what it looks like, and these kids have it. Like, they just need the guidance, and that's why I'm here, because they're all in. It's like, and they're in. They want it because they're already driven, and they don't. I do a lot of Gasso, So I see the kids play in the summer, and I would always have mostly like junior high going up because they would have them at McAllen. So some of these kids you're seeing as they grow, and these kids have it. So the young kids, and I saw them before I took the job. I was watching them. I was in Dallas working the Gasso, and they were there. Josh, Vega, all those guys, Caleb Williams. So I was getting to see them. I was seeing them. Like I knew it was happening. I couldn't say anything. It's behind the scenes, and I'm just like, oh yeah. Okay, just what he could do. So it's a good thing. Trust me.
That's crazy. So I just want to say, if it looks like I've been doing something else, it's because I just got a notification on Zoom that the meeting is going to expire in like 10 minutes because I don't have like another account.
I was thinking about texting you actually about that. I'm gonna pay here for a little bit because I'm gonna do these anyway for my show, so I don't mind paying for it. So I'm gonna walk away for a little bit. Y'all can ask him some questions, and I'm gonna go get my credit card information so I can do this because it's only like $10 a month. But that's why I was looking away for everybody, just letting you know. But that's honestly, that makes this even better that happened. That's pretty funny. But y'all keep talking. I'm gonna take care of this.
Good show.
Man, of course, like this things always pop up like that. Oh goodness, Jude.
The host of the show too.
I know, right?
Hey, he'll step his game up, guys. Don't worry. This is a teachable moment right now.
Yeah.
So
it's weird because I'd been getting this notification for a little bit, and it was like, hey, if you have like to have more than 40-minute calls, you need to upgrade your account. And then I was like, but on all those other calls, I had been getting like both were over like an hour and a half, and I didn't get, anything that said I couldn't do it. And then I'm in here and it's like, you have 10 minutes left. And I'm like, oh.
I got tired of using that free money.
It just got real. It just got real for you. So
yeah.
Well, Jude, just the other day, I say other day, but it's probably like a week ago already. There was a call. I don't know exactly how long it was, but it was pretty long. And it was the call that I joined. Oh, it upgraded. There we go.
Yes, sir. There we go.
And it was a call that lasted quite a minute because we were trying to find out the, situation with Coach Pinchback.
Oh, here we go. That was what a turn. What a turn, Josh Orozco.
We had to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it scared us all because we knew what Coach Pinchback was all about. We knew the potential that San Marcos had. And for a second, when time stood still, it didn't seem like, like that would be over. Like he would move on. It made sense. DeSoto, it'd be full circle. But Coach, I just wanted to get, your input on this because we're waiting patiently.
7 hours.
Okay, the least. Patiently.
I'm sure you were probably watching that Zoom call.
I'm falling asleep. I got the phone. Like,
Yeah.
it won. I said,
On
man.
FaceTime, we feel that. Oh my gosh.
I still have nightmares of that screen.
Bruh, executive session in progress.
Hey, if it wouldn't have been the wife's phone, I might have threw it. So, but come on, man. And then my daughter hit me. She texted me. She's like, they already did it. They adjourned or something. And she was like, kind of like some of the things that, WTF or whatever she put on there. So I was barely like making us like, so it's okay. I'm not even worried. Like,
so at that point, were you like all of us? Were you waiting on their decision?
Yeah. Well, I think what happened that night, they had some scandal with the money. And
yeah, we were like watching
the
that.
Results.
It was the forensic analysis.
Yeah, the forensics. So the people wanted to know what was going on. So once I knew they were talking about that, I figured they probably wouldn't talk about the job because they wanted to know. They've been waiting for a couple of years on that. I think it happened when I was there leaving or whatever. I've been gone 3 years. So once I knew that, I was like, because I know home. You know what I mean? I know.
Yeah.
They're gonna listen. They're gonna listen and they're gonna talk and they want to know what's going on. So it was no big deal, but as time went, you just have different feelings, and you have to make sure it's the right thing, because as a coach, that's the hardest part of this job is when you build a relationship and then you have to leave. That's the toughest part for me because I'm genuine, right? So like once you have me, like you have my heart, and I sometimes I wear it on my sleeve. I can't let you guys know, but I care, right? So it's tough, and then as I got ready, like you can't tell them at certain times, right? You have to pick the right time to tell your kids, hey, I'm interviewing for a job. And there's never a right time for that. So I didn't do it till I got the second interview. And that's when I told him, like a Zoom meeting before, because we had class. So, and that's tough.
If you don't mind, like, talking about when the timeline was, when was that second meeting?
Like the day before, or I don't. What day was it? It was Friday. It was on my birthday, man. I had an interview for DeSoto on my birthday. Like, how do you do that?
That's awesome.
Dang.
So that's why it's crazy. But yeah, it was that Friday, and so I had to stay till Monday, or I stayed and then I left, whatever. But once it kept going, because the way I feel, like if someone really wants you, then they're gonna make it happen. So, and that, it's a big decision. There's a lot of people involved or whatever, and I get that. But I knew that I was wanted somewhere else. Like I knew I was wanted, and DeSoto's gonna be fine. I gave time to DeSoto. If you go down there, like I started at the bottom at DeSoto. I was like a special ed aide.
I was about to ask about that.
I started as a long-term sub. I mean, like my story over there is I came to Dallas from San Angelo and was looking for a job because there's more opportunity in the city with my degree. And so my uncle did ROTC there. He's like, nephew, come over here and get you some subbing, just sub for a few days while you're looking. Found a job in Louisville. I subbed for 3 days at the freshman campus. Found a job in Louisville working for some, I would have been over custodians for like 3 schools in Louisville ISD. So it's probably a pretty nice salary, right? But something told me like, nah, this is not what you're supposed to do. Because I was like, I told my wife, I said, I miss those kids. Like the energy they bring is like totally different than what I expected. And then I went to Louisville because I stayed in the South in Cedar Hill. I went up north and told them, I said, thank you. Oh, before that, the freshman principal calls me and says, Mr. Pinchback, we want you to come work for us for the rest of the year as a long-term sub. That was right after I accepted the job, like a few days later. So I was like, that's God saying I need to go take this job. It's like $135 a day. And I probably had like $50,000, $60,000 job set. I don't know, pretty good little job. And so I did it, right? I reached out on faith and I did it. Then I was working on my certification because I didn't do student teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to work the next year. So after I was that sub, I was an aide, special ed aide, $1,000 a month. So just to chase the dream, right? So that's what I had to do. My wife was like, I got you. We'll be fine. So I did that, got certified. I'm looking for a job in DeSoto. There's nothing happening because I only had PE certification. So Miss Pam was like, there's nothing here. Like, we're building a school in McCowan, but the coordinator is going to take PE. So she's like, I'm calling other districts trying to get you. You're good. You need to have a job. And so the dude comes from El Paso, that's where I was born.
Yeah.
Because my dad was in the military, but he comes from El Paso to McCowan. He's like, I don't want to be a PE guy. I want to do English. So I was like, who does that? Who wants to, who doesn't want, I mean, I get it. He's passionate about it, but in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. And then Miss Pam was like, he wants to do English, so we're going to have a spot. We want to keep you. Started there that next year at the 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade level. I'm there learning from the guy, great guy, Coach Jolly. And after football, he starts giving me like some tasks, different tasks like I don't normally do. I'm like, man, I'm doing this dude's job. What's going on over here? Because I'm a little bit older. Most of the staff was pretty young. I'm a little more mature in age, at least. And so my uncle that got me the job, he's like, nephew, I went to see him. He had a cookout. He's like, I had a dream. I was like, what's up, Unc? He's like, I had a dream that the guy left and they made you the coordinator at your school. And like 2 or 3 weeks later, dude tells me he got a high school job. And coach is like, I'm going to take it. I'm going to recommend you to be the coordinator. Solid individual. And I was like, whoa. So, and then I started there. I was a coordinator there for about 8 years, working my way, I did football, basketball, just trying to fit in and learn and grind because I knew I wasn't going to be a junior high coach forever. And DeSoto was they were booming with sports. You know, we had a great football team and we had a super basketball team and our track's good. It was just the total experience, you know. Finally worked my way up, got there. We won state with those kids at 16. And then I knew eventually I'd have to get away from DeSoto if I ever wanted to be the coach of DeSoto. So that's when I came to Lehman. Like it just happened. It was spur of the moment. But I knew I was going to get the job because like God made the path for it. So my friend, he told me that they need a basketball coach. It's late in the year, you know. You should look into it. And my daughter just came to Texas State.
That's what I was about to ask.
She just came to Texas State.
So you were close to San Marcos then too.
Right. See, we actually, in 2016, when we came down for state, we practiced at San Marcos gym. And I was telling those guys, I said, man, this is great. We're in the indoor. I said, man, this is great facilities. Like, I could see myself coaching here one day. The weight room and everything, we took them around. Coach Norris was the coach. And so once I got the job, just to hop around, once I got the job, I called those kids, Marquise Bolden and Tristan and JB's at Jackson State. And they're like, talking about what we practiced? And I was like, yeah. He's like, whoa. And it was just crazy. It was a crazy moment coming back from that moment that we had together in San Marcos. But anyway, went to Lehman, got the job. I knew I was going to take it. My wife was freaking out, but we moved because he was making the path, right? And then I had a pretty good run over there. And then once Anisha got it over here, I was like, whoa. So then I applied. And I had my first game as a head coach at San Marcos. I played them at Lehman, and we lost. But, I mean, I just have a lot of ties. It was crazy. And then what was so weird about the whole thing is my daughter's actually going back to Dallas to finish up her senior year. And she gets a house at DeSoto as we're having this process, just to kind of tell you like how it's been. So I was like, man, this is crazy. It's crazy. So you can't fake it. It just happens. Like everything happens. So we're here. I go over there and I know this is where I'm supposed to be. Like I felt that because they need me more and I need them. Because over there it's established. Coach Dyer's done a great job. Like he's taught me a lot. It's established. The gym's named after him, right? So I want to get a gym named after me. Like that's my passion, you know? So that's what it's all about. It's like full circle, and San Marcos is great. Like they're just waiting. And once it happens, we're all going to be like, we all played a part. All played a part in making this happen. We were there. That was our time. So that's what it's about.
I'm like speechless. I don't know about you guys. I don't know.
Listening. Listening is more important than talking, honestly.
Well, I mean, I know I hopped around a lot, but that's like the story. Like he's telling me to tell you the story, like just to share with the people that don't know the path. And that means your path is always, it's uncertain, but there's a path for you. You can't see it. And when it's time, it'll happen. Like everything happened that fell into place because he was making a way. He's making a way for you. And then you think it's something that you want, but he's just preparing you for that. But it's really something else. So you just have to, I talked to a lot of people that day. Because like a lot of people, not a lot, because my circle's really tight. It has to be like that. But some people that, a handful that I trust, like starting my wife, we talked about it. So it's a big decision, right? It was because the pay was very good. You would have been one of the highest paid coaches in Texas, period. So if you're driven, it's not all about the money, but if you're driven, you have goals, no matter what your business is. And if you feel that you're worth a certain amount because of what you prove and what you do, then, and someone gives you an opportunity for that, you'd be foolish not to entertain that. But it's definitely not all about the money. Because I told them that when I interviewed, when they were telling me it's like 90,000 plus or whatever, right? I said, it's not about the money. Like, it's not. So it's just about you love a place and they raised you and you want to give back because that was your dream. So you at least got to chase your dream. And if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, he's got a plan, a path, and it's different. But part of that journey helps you get to where you're going. So that was big for us. It helped San Marcos, right? Like I'm at San Marcos now. So people are learning their name because, the Riddle guy, like he was blowing it up in Dallas. He has a lot of people that follow and read that. And so it helps your stock. It helps your name, your brand. And that's going to benefit San Marcos. And it's going to help us, so because it's all about growing and building. And then when we're going to build it, they're going to come. They're going to like, let's go see what they're doing over there. Let's go see. I heard they got a tall, crazy dude. Let's go see what he's doing. So we're just having fun trying to give these kids moments in time that they'll never forget, because that's all we have is time, and moments that relate to that time. So this is our time. and we're going to build it, and we should be excited, all of us, and we are. That's why we talk about what we do. Like, we're excited because we can see it. We have the vision. You have to have the vision before you can have the dream. You know, and it's not always popular. They're not going to understand it, but I'm going to do what's best for these kids, right? And for the team, for the long term. And playing those young kids is going to benefit us in a major way because they're going to have confidence. They're going to know that I believe in them. And as long as you believe, like, if you know your coach believes in you, you'll do anything, because it's bigger than just basketball. I care about them. So basketball is just our work time. It's more about the family time, the joking and the rapping in the circle sometimes, or whatever you do that nobody really knows about, but you do it, right? You know, just together, our time. So, and that's why I share with you. Y'all need to see that.
My question is, during your time going through, you know, these steps in the path that has led you to here, was there a time that you felt like giving up, where you felt like maybe this isn't the correct path that I'm supposed to be on? Or was it just I'm not going to say a smooth path, because obviously it wasn't smooth, but or were you more confident in yourself that you could make it happen more than, you know, more than giving up on yourself quicker than you should?
I mean, you have to believe, you know, so you can't give up. Like, coming up in that district, even at the junior high level, like that district down there, Dallas has some of the best basketball in the state, guys. I mean, it's evident in the percentages that the winning percentages of Dallas teams. Not to knock anyone.
Yeah.
It's just different. You know, we're built different down there. So once you know what it takes, and there's the path is kind of being laid for you. You follow it and just believe in it, like the process. Like, some of those seniors, they bought into the process, and they're better. You know, they're better for it. Some, it was tough. I mean, it just is. But I try to give everybody opportunity. But at the end of the day, those young kids needed it so they can be ready. So that's a year out of the way of making some of those silly turnovers, and we turn the ball over. And you have to live with that, because it's tough being young playing at that high school level, you know, in the district that we're in. It's tough. So they just have to believe and see the way. And that's what we're trying to do, you know, just show them some bits and pieces, and it's going to come together, and it's going to be really nice.
And Coach, I know Jude always talks about this all the time, about San Marcos, the community as a whole, and the fact that San Marcos, like high school, have so much going for them. I mean, they have a Toyota Center, like, for a football field, indoor facilities, and me and Jude talk about, it's like they have everything there, but just the pieces, building a culture, building something that's really important. And I know Jude and the rest of us always talk about how integral you are to that. When it comes to building that, how long do you think it takes, or does it just depend on the individual and the team that you have to build that type of culture?
I mean, we're changing it. It's an everyday thing. You got to change the culture every day. It's in the things that you do, right? You have to establish something, because some of them have never had anything. We won like second place in the tournament, and like the parents were like, "Man, this is like the only thing we've won in their whole high school career." And I was like, you don't understand it. If you're where I'm from, like, you know, we see a lot. You know, we were like ranked 5th. We finished 5th in the nation, got a big old trophy, you know, but we worked hard for it. So that made that moment, that tournament, when we did that, I was like, okay, we definitely got to we got to have more. Like, they need to be exposed to different things and better. So it just drives you inside, and you're just trying to help them get there, you know, so, because it's hard to believe, but the places I've been have been like that. Lehman was like that. That's just a mentality, and we're just changing it. And it's an everyday thing, because some days are better than others. You know what I mean? So it's just, trust me, it's tough, especially when you got to go to like freshman practice, and you know they're still learning, and you're just trying to like see, okay, I got to see the future in these guys, and you just got to start working on their weaknesses and some of their deficiencies, and try to build it that way. So, but it's every day. You can't get discouraged, because it wasn't built in a day. but we're taking baby steps each day to get to that long-term success, to being established down here with the Ciblos and the Judsons and Westlakes and Lake Travises and those names. You know, that's the vision.
24/7, 365.
So I guess I know you talked a little bit about this in the article you did with Drew King for the Daily Record. But I guess my question is, when all of the stuff with DeSoto was going on, when did you know, like, exactly that you were coming back to San Marcos? I think in the article he mentioned that it was when you were gassing up. So yeah, I
was pumping gas to
get okay.
I'm not even going to go there with you. So I was getting gas to get ready to come home, but some things were going on and I was hearing things, and because I had a lot of support, you know, so the people know me. I was vested in that community. So I'm hearing certain things, and just the feeling came like, it might not be the time for you, or you're needed somewhere else. Like before I left, I felt like the job was mine. That was my mindset. That's how I attacked it, period. And that's how you have to attack a job like that, because it's a big time job. So, but I know the pressure over there, you know, I relish it. Like, that's what I'm used to. Like, and that's why I'm trying to build it with the crowd here and get them involved. And soon I won't have to do those things. I like doing them. We need that. I did it at DeSoto. Like, you need the crowd. The crowd is big. They got to be in it. Like, they got to be in it all the way, all the time. Win or lose, be in it. Like, give back. Because the kids feed off of it. And they'll turn up. When the crowd's turned up, they're going to turn up, and we'll make a run. Like, we made some heck of a runs, guys. We've made some, and that's growth. Because sometimes those other teams would lay it down. And we're not going to lay it down. Like, we're not going to lay down. We're not as long as I'm here. You know, and that's why I bring it every night. I tell them I'm going to bring it every night. So I need you guys to bring it every night. And we'll do it this way together. Because I'm going to give you all I got. I'm out there leaving it on the floor, guy. I feel like I'm playing out there. I guess that's why I be on the court so much when they try to kick me off all the time. I'm like, I'm playing. Just let me play, you know. So I can't help it. Like, I'm in it. I'm all the way. I'm locked in.
I still remember, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I still remember one game where I forget, I don't know, it was either Connor, Josh, or Deshaun. We were on the call, and the ref made you sit down in one of the games. And we were just like, what?
I did have to sit down, but it wasn't anything that I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I did, because I always show them respect. But he didn't like what one of my assistants had just said something. He didn't like it. I don't know if his feelings were hurt. I told him I'd give him a hug. He wasn't hearing it. No, I didn't tell him that. But something my assistant said, so once he got the tech, I had to sit down. And guys, y'all know me. I can't do that. I've only had to do that one other time at DeSoto, and the kid dunked before the game in the JV, and I had to sit down. And my aunt and uncle had came to the game. Like, they hadn't watched me coach for a while. And the look I guess I gave that kid, like, I'm not fixing to say a whole lot, you know, because we still have to play. You know, the kids got to play. So, but I know I looked at him like, maybe it was like, man, you just crushed my heart. And maybe that's why, because they had me, like, they jumped on them boys, and I'm sitting down, and I was like, okay. So that was tough, man. I can't. And I was still getting up, so I was like, oh, man, I'm going to go get some water. So I was getting water, but I can't do that. Because I have to be on the court, you know? So with my guys going to battle. Definitely.
All right, so we got any other questions popping up from anybody just off the dome?
Anybody?
Trying to let Amanda and Josh go.
I'll say, yeah, Amanda, you haven't talked much, bro.
I'm just listening. I'm just taking.
She's like, why are you picking on me? I just want to listen to.
I'm getting picked on.
When you surround yourself with these characters, that might happen every now and then. But I'm sure you find a way to handle them. You got to be tough. Gotta be tough.
For sure.
Tough and have skills because you're award winning. So
Well, yeah, award-winning Amanda Geyer.
Award-winning Amanda Geyer.
I mean, I beat Jude, so.
he's already working to figure out how that won't happen again. Trust me. He's getting it together.
Nah. If you want to know the real story, and everybody else in this chat can contest to it because everybody was on that call, verbatim.
We're not gonna put our business in the street, guys. We're family. We won't do that. We all have love, so.
After the call, we'll let you know what really went down.
Y'all are crazy. Hey, but we're getting the house built, and once we get it built, I want you guys to come hang out, and we'll hang out. Like we'll have a preseason cook-off or something, just whenever we can get back to normal and just hang out and get ready, get prepared for hopefully the football and basketball, all those seasons, and school more normal. Just get back to some normalcy for sure. But I had to throw that out there before I forget. Yeah,
I think that. Well, first of all, I think we'd all love to do that, and we can't. I'm sure you can't wait until you get that house built. I'm sure, because I'm sure it's probably looking nice. And whenever you get to build your own house, like just from people I know, that's awesome. But you talked about the return to normalcy, and I think Connor has some questions about this that he wanted to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I know we kind of talked about beforehand, but I know with this pandemic going on, just how are you doing personally? Like, how are you dealing with all this? What are some of the activities that you're doing just to keep yourself occupied?
We had a water balloon fight the other night. We did some s'mores. It's just this time you have to use it. Like this is a reconnecting period, getting that connection. So that's what we're trying to do. Like my son hooked up the projector outside. They're in the hammock and it was like 11, 12. We're watching movies out there. He's got the sheet on the fence and just getting some of those moments back that you miss because you're always grinding, And we've been talking like, I work hard, so when they were a little younger, it was tough. Now the boys went to my middle school, so we did kind of make up some time, but still coaches, sometimes it's tough, man. So I know that I missed out on some things. I was able to do some things, but you always want to just try to make it right. And this time has been good for that. Still not perfect, but still keep growing together and getting that bond. But I mean, I'm sitting out there, we're just watching movies, laughing. I think we did it 2 or 3 nights in a row. Just simple things like that. You're just together. My daughter, she's talking about there's too many bugs. I gotta go or whatever. She came to air the s'mores and then she dipped on us. So. I mean, I get it, but it's good. It's good. Just plus we've been packing, right? So that's gonna help with some of that time. And it's just been a really hectic time, but it's a good hectic. You want to build something, and so just keep with the theme, right? I'm setting down roots down here. It's like to come down, and. Like I say things to myself all the time. Like, somebody, like why I came down here. But like you come down here, like if you're driven, you're coming down here to take over. That's the mindset you have to have. And there's no disrespect to anybody. There's a lot of good coaches down here. But I have to have my mind a certain way to have the team to take that mentality. And we're coming to take over because San Marcos is ready. We have the facilities, we have the community support. They're just waiting for it. Texas State is there. Like we have a lot of resources that others don't. And so it's the perfect place. Like when we came down here, like we went to the barbershop down on the square, meeting people. I mean, we've done all kinds of things to try to we need to be together. San Marcos High School, ISD, and Texas State. Like it's a good relationship because they do a lot at our school. So this is like a great place. I mean, and you can float down a river.
Yeah.
and do what you do there. So I mean, like, hey, who wouldn't like that, right? Like, it's great. So we can't do that in Dallas. Not the way you can do it here. So it's a special place. So one of the toughest decisions I've had this far, like San Marcos helped make it a little easier, you know. So I slept good that night because I knew it was right. And then I'm listening to you crazy guys, and I'm like, man, I'm the KTSW dad. Like, okay.
Hashtag KTSW dad.
Put that on a shirt.
So I mean, you guys really, it was really touching, and like, I knew, I was like, that's why I'm staying. I swear I thought that. Like, I sent it to my mom, I sent it to the bros, and the bros text all the guys back home, you know, that we've been friends forever, just so they could see, you know, this is why, and you guys are part of the why. So and just hearing y'all, like, I was like, okay. So I appreciate you guys. I really do, more than you'll ever know. Like, I felt the love, and it's genuine, and that's why we hang out. You know, that's why we're doing this. So it was good. So thank you. I'm always gonna say that, but thank you. I appreciate it. Like,
But I got like 2 more questions.
Fight through, young whippersnapper.
Yeah, I know that you talked about like reconnecting and family, and obviously during this tough time, one of the part of your family is the team. How have you been able to keep in contact with the team during this pandemic?
Zoom.
This.
Zoom. Yeah. It's been good. At first, like our first meetings, like we're all on there just like this. Everybody's good, boom, boom, boom. And then as we're going, these dudes not getting haircuts. So now I'm just seeing their little picture. And I say, come on, guys. So I told them, I said, okay, since it's so tough for you guys, I said, next year the cut is going to be the pinchback fade, and we're all going to rock it. So that way you have no complaints about getting your hair done or whatever. So we've been having fun with that, you know. But it's crazy. Like the first few times, boom, it was everybody. We're laughing, we're giggling. Then now it's just me. I said, man, I'm gonna turn mine off too. Then I mean, but we're still laughing and giggling. But it's just funny. I'm like, come on, man, let me see. Just show me what you working with. He's like, no, coach, need it twisted up. I said, okay. So I know that they sound like some girls, like they're really struggling because there's no salon or whatever, you know. So I laugh.
Oh, man.
So,
Hey, no, it's actually kind of nice being a girl because we can just let our hair grow.
Yeah, it's
good luck with that. It doesn't work for me. So seeing some of the other coaches, like they're getting their whole beard, and because like football coaches, they do that. That's normal. But when you see these guys, I'm like, dude, shave, please. You know, just.
So we're never gonna see
Only
a
bad part.
pinchback.
What'd you say?
Only bad part is the roots growing out.
Oh.
What'd you say, Josh?
Oh, so we're never gonna see a bearded pinchback?
I mean, you might, but it's not gonna be like. I did it one time. I was like, nah, I can't do that. So it's just I can't do that. So I gotta be just. I don't know. I can't do that. If I did it, nobody would see me. So, but I see these guys, and I'm like, and then they got like a burrito hanging over here. They don't even see it. They can't feel it. Nah, I can't do that. So for sure.
And I know one of the last questions I do have, it was when it comes to these next few months for you and the team, what's going to be some of the things that you're trying to work on? Because I know you can't really go to this high school, do workouts or anything like that. So what are some of the plans that you have just for the next few months while this goes on?
I mean, they're slowly opening it up. So I'm thinking, I mean, they said some gyms will be open. So they're going to go out there and get some shots. The main thing is like right now, it's like to really just try to find a gym and get some shots, you know, because that's the one thing they've hopefully been working on their ball handling, things that you can do without a gym, but we need to be better shooters anyway. So that's really one of the goals I had for this summer. So we got the dish machine that's coming because we just have to shoot the ball better. And then with these playmakers that we have, when they start collapsing on those kids, like we're going to have some snipers there, but they have to put in the work too. So we just got to get in the gym whenever they can and whenever it's safe and all those things. I'm not going to rush that, but there'll be a time when we can. And that's the main thing. I just tell them, just work out, lift weights, because we need to get stronger and we need to be better shooters and we need to rebound. Those are the 3 things that are going to help propel us to be 28 and whatever compare, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things. So, but they had to learn. They got to learn how to play. And it's a different, we play different. We don't play really like anybody around here, I don't think. I mean, you guys have been around here more, probably, longer, even though you're younger, but we're a little different, So it's hard to prepare for us. Because we run some stuff, but it's more of a feel, right? Believing in your kids, letting them go make a play, finding a matchup. I'm big on matchups. If my guy's better than the guy guarding him, I'm going to go at you. I mean, it's your job to stop him. It's not my job to stop my guy. I gotta let him get loose. And we got a lot of kids that can get loose, you know what I mean? So we just have to take the steps to see the vision of how I want to play and how we're going to play. And it's, it's kind of like a college brand, it's, you have some freedom to play basketball. When I think in my shot clock goes off, when it's getting low, then I want to run something, we'll try to run something, but it's really like, I believe in you. What's up? What are you going to do? Let's go do it. We'll do it together. Like, and they love it, right? They just have to learn. They have to grow, and once they're smarter, then they're going to be deadly, and they're not committing some of those silly freshman fouls. And because our freshman kids can play, guys, we got some special kids.
It's funny.
My question. I was going to say yesterday. I know you saw the rankings that came out about the returners coming back. I don't know if rankings mean anything to you, but it did get your team, your freshmen and about to be sophomores, a little bit more exposure. Those specific players like Malik and Caden are some of the best one-on-one players that I've seen like around the area. But how do you expect them to grow their game as they are good at one-on-one and beating people off the dribble and being able to pull up and things like that?
Right.
And before you go, Coach, I don't mean to stop you, but just that was one of the things it's funny you mentioned this because Deshaun on the last show was literally talking about how Caden, he felt like was one of the best one-on-one like players he'd seen in Austin, San Antonio.
Regardless of grade.
Yeah. He's definitely up there. Like
he's a game changer.
You know me, I'm around the AAU circuit around San Antonio and Dallas and the Gassos and things of that sort. So I see one-on-one players who can just beat people off the dribble, but Caden can beat people off the dribble like it's nothing.
Yeah. And see, and that's what we're doing, right? Let them believe in themselves. Like this first year, like their confidence is on 1,000,000, right? Like they know that I believe in them, and I've shown that they have something special. So now we just have to build a complete player, right? Knowing when to turn that on and when to give it up. That's part of this game. And as we're growing, their game is going to grow. Those kids are going to be ready for college because the thing about college, for the most part, they push the ball up the floor. They try to get the early bucket. If they don't get a bucket, then they start running a set with about 15 seconds, 12 seconds on the clock. And then if you don't get it within about 5 seconds on the clock, then it's back into a one-on-one game. You're getting movement, you'll get a play, and if the play doesn't score, you get a one-on-one. Like A&M had a good kid a couple years ago, TJ Sparks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That lit it up. Like he's from Dallas. Like when we moved down there, he stayed in those townhomes that we stayed in. So I knew him when he was a kid. He came to DeSoto for a year or so, but it wasn't really for him. He went to Lancaster and finished. But I've known the kid since he was playing football, but he was great at that, right? He was a one-on-one player, which he didn't fit in well with DeSoto's type of style at that time, because we were like a team. It was moving the ball, not necessarily one-on-one, right? So once he got to A&M, like they pushed the ball. If they didn't have anything, they'd run a quick play, and then if they didn't have anything, with about 6-7 seconds on the clock, he'd get the ball and he would make a play because that's what he's good at. So that's, for the most part, that's how the game is. It's like positionless, right? Positionless basketball. So there's a lot of things we're going to do to keep growing and changing, because we're going to be one of those teams that we're not like anyone else. We're going to play the way that we play. We have championship roots, but we also understand players and we understand kids and we know how this game is. So we're just going to work on things. Those 3 things that I said, we correct those and we're dangerous. We're dangerous. So you just have to have the plan and you have to just execute. You have to execute the plan. And you're going to take lumps sometimes, but you're going to get those lumps later. These kids are going to be scary. Some people don't want to play us right now. Like I'm calling and they're just like, no, something happened. But I mean, okay, I get it. That means we're earning some respect. You know, we're earning respect, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we're reaching out to teams. We're playing good teams. Like for us to win late, we got to play good teams early so we're ready, prepared. I mean, that's what you do. In Dallas, every week is a battle. So by the time you get to the playoffs, you're battle tested. Some schools don't play a very strong early schedule, and they're good. Their record is great, but it could hurt you when in the playoffs when you're tested because you haven't had those tight games. You get it? So it's just such a delicate balance. You know, you're trying to do this, but I'd rather prepare early and maybe take some losses, and then when it's money season, you're battle tested because our district's going to prepare us, right? It's just sharpening that knife. But to be over the top, you know, to make sure you don't dull out, you have to do something way early. You got to put in that work way early. And to me, that's how you're going to be successful. So other guys do it other ways, but I got to push us mentally, physically, and just see where we're at early because that's going to pay off. That's going to be like a playoff team. So I'm reaching out. We're playing Midway, the Hawks, you know, Hendrickson. Like we did that last night. We put that together. So like, we're not scared to play anybody. And that's the standard.
Yeah, I know. My high school played Hendrickson. They're pretty good.
Yeah, but that's what you want, right?
Yeah, we played them every year, so.
It's going to be a good challenge. And that's what I'm challenging my guys because you have to go through certain phases to become a champion. It just doesn't necessarily always just like happen unless you have a special kid. I mean, it's a lot of intangibles, but it's a process. Even at DeSoto, like when I was doing football, you know, we were beating the South Lakes and the Euless Trinities, like they were championship programs. And so we were beating them. And so we were making our time to have our moment, right? Then it was Allen. We ran into Murray, you know, 3 years in a row. And we had some good teams but you had to go through that process, right? We lost those 3 games to be in the Final Four or whatnot, right? But then you're battle tested. And then you go win it. You know, I think we played Ciblo. We go win it because you have to go through those phases to be a champion. And once you become a champion, you have the blueprint to have further success. Everybody can't be a champion because you don't know what it takes. You think you do, but until you walk that path, you don't really know. And once you have it, the day after we won state, on the bus ride home, the second time in 16, all I could think about was what were we going to do to get back? Mm-hmm. The bus ride home, like you enjoyed it that night, but that's the first thing you can think about. Like that's that championship mentality. And once you get there, you have an edge. You have an edge. That's why not a lot of people do it, but the ones that do it normally can do it again and again, or at least have opportunity to. So that's what it's about, giving San Marcos some of that.
Well, you mentioned the district in there and how that's going to help you guys, like you said, like kind of edge out and kind of sculpt, I guess is the word that you could say, that monster that you're trying to build. I know you're in District 26 6A still, but it's a different district, but not to you because it's the same district that was at Lehman. And yeah. I know, you know, this, I mean, that was the district I grew up in when I played in high school. So I'm pretty familiar with it too. So I'm excited to cover those teams because I already know a good amount, a lot of those teams as well. But just how excited are you for this new district? And I guess, what do you expect from your experience at Lehman?
I know what it's about. I know those guys. I got a lot of respect for those guys. That's where I started my coaching career in that district. So it was good to step away, a different deal, but I enjoy that. I just have there's a lot of good guys there, coaches that try to help you, you know, with Coach Collier at Bowie, Del Valley. It's like they want to see you do well. And then, you know, Coach Lucero and myself, we're really good friends. You know, at Westlake, just a genuine person, his family, you know, we love him. So it's good to go back there. But, you know, I was getting something going at Lehman, but over here, like I have some talent, you know, not that I didn't, I'm just saying some young talent, like, and they're good. Like these kids, even a couple of them, they're probably D1 kids, right?
Absolutely.
I didn't have that. So I think they understand that we might be pretty good. We're trying next year, but it might not, you know, realistically it takes time, but it's all about the process of getting there. You know, I mean, next year we could win state, to be honest. That's the mindset, right? Win district, win region, win state. Those are what you do. Those are the things that your program is about. That's the order. Can't put one before the other. It's a process to getting those things. So it's going to be exciting. I like that. I like the district. They're scrambling to try to get film, you know, and see what we're doing. And there's not a lot of it has changed, but there's definitely some talented kids that are, you know, they're going to be in the second year of it. And they know what I did the second year in that district. You know, we're competing for a playoff spot. And we were picked last. So it's just all part of it. And I had to, for you guys, like we had our meeting, I had to make sure that I could have you guys, because I know sometimes y'all travel, so like we need to make sure that they're set up. So even in the district meeting we just had with them, I was making sure you guys, I said, because when other people come, I'm gonna have the table set up for them, for you guys, the other schools. I said, so we need to just make sure, I know it's not written there, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with that. So, and then they said, yeah, we're good, it's understood. If somebody else has some video guys coming in or whatever, we'll respect that. So you guys was on my mind, so.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You know, a crazy thing, Coach. So I don't know if I told you this, but I went to Hayes. Sadly, I've been completely converted since I went to college. But it's funny, just like the connections. Kind of, we didn't even know this, but I remember like when y'all beat Hayes in basketball, and that was something like my senior year, and I was just like, I remember, like, not to be like anything, you know, no disrespect or anything, but it was like, I was like, dang, we usually, you know, like we always beat Lehman. And so it's just funny that like now we're working together, and it's just, even then I remember hearing about you without like knowing who you were. So that was just, I just wanted to tell you that, because that's something like I've told my mom when all this stuff has been going on, and telling her to listen to stuff like this. So, I mean, it's just been pretty crazy, like how you talk about those connections. Yeah. And it was like, we kind of had one, like even back then before we even knew each other. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's just how it is. Like they just bring you, in people's lives, you know? So, and it's a rivalry. It's still going to be a rivalry. I'm understanding that I guess San Marcos and Hayes was a big rivalry.
Yeah, it was.
But I mean, it's going to be, I mean, I want to beat Hayes. I'm good friends with Coach Sandoval. You know, I have a lot of good friends in that district that we communicate. You know, we talked during the whole process that I was going through, you know? But yeah, I want to beat them. But I love going over there. They always treat me well. A lot of the people there, like, really enjoyed watching me do what I do, or watching the teams do what they do, or whatever, because we're all in it together, you know, but they would just say that. So there's some good relationships. But once they throw the ball up, like, because it's going to still be a rivalry. It's going to be intense. He doesn't want to lose to me. I don't want to lose to him. And we're going to do it the right way. But we're going to play hard, and whatever that rivalry was, hopefully it's going to continue that, and it's going to grow, and it's just going to be one of those things where the gym is packed and it's going down, and you know, let the chips fall where they may, and let's get after it. But make no mistake, I don't want to lose to them. You know, I don't want to lose to anyone in our district. Anyone. That's the mindset. Every game to me is a rivalry, because we're trying to prove ourselves now. This is going to be my 4th year as a head coach. I took the path less traveled, but blessed with a gift to build relationships. And so that's what it's about. And this San Marcos relationship is coming to show you that it's one of the best relationships in the Syntex, if not, you know, the Tri-City or the Tri-Region or whatever they got going on down here on this 35 corridor, that we're coming down here. You know, and so it's good to get to go play down there and get to play here because we're going to we want to dominate that whole area. We want this to be our region. That's the mindset that we have. Why not? Why not us? Why not now? Like we got some heat. So, and we're a team. We love each other. That's what it takes. I'll take a group of guys that love each other over a whole bunch of superstars all day.
You kind of saw that going into last season because, 10, 11 wins the season before? And
10 wins. Let me turn this light on.
He eclipsed that.
I've been in the dark, so I guess I'll come to light.
The man cave.
Yeah.
On God.
Slowly started to see the light just.
Hey, there's like all these boxes, and so I'm just
yeah.
Let me just turn, because if this is the office, so there would, like, normally there's stuff everywhere, guys. But y'all see later. You'll see later at the new place.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was just relaxed a little bit, but now you guys got me going, so appreciate it. No, it's gonna be exciting, man. They're gonna make a name for themselves. That group, like, they haven't won district in like 20 years, right? So that's the goal. Because I was playing basketball with some guys in New Braunfels. It's 30 and over. So you guys probably wouldn't be able to play, so we're not going to go there. But anyway, there was guys that were at San Marcos when they won district last, and they found out that I got the job, you know, so they were very supportive. I met a guy that's an 81 graduate of San Marcos. I was somewhere, and he was excited. He was like, yeah, basketball coach. He works in Kyle. And he was just like, okay, because I had the shirt on. He's like, oh, I'm going to go watch. I said, come watch. We're doing a lot of good things. So that's how you start building it and changing it, you know, one person at a time, you know, shaking one hand, meeting one guy, inviting them. And then with you guys, y'all bring attention to these kids. So we're doing it right, for sure. And we have a pretty dope crew. So you guys you're awesome. So
back at you, Coach.
Yeah, right back at you.
For real.
Do you have I don't want to say like a number one threat, but who do you think is the biggest threat to you guys in this district? I know Westlake still has KJ Adams, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they still have him. And then Hayes obviously still continues to do what they do in basketball and the rest of these sports. But then down the line, like Jude said, this conference is like a lot top heavy. As you get down to the lower teams, you don't really start to see a lot of wins or a lot of talent. Or I wouldn't even be able to tell you. But do you have a team that is in your sights? If we can take them down, maybe we can win this district. I know you already believe.
I mean, it's Westlake. Westlake's the bar. Coach has probably won 4 or 5 years in a row, at least probably 4 for sure. Coach Beatty at LT does a great job. A lot of respect for him. And you never know what they're going to get in. You know, Westlake and LT, people go there. They move there. They got a good educational system, so I get it. They go. I get that. So you never know what they might have. You know, but I mean, it's Westlake's district, and Rob knows. I mean, Rob, he don't boast. He's a good Christian man, but I mean, he knows. You know, and he came from Hayes. He was at Hayes and went over there. So he's got a good hold on it. But we want to go beat the bully on the block. That's the only way you take the block over is you got to go beat the bully up, you know, or try, you know, just to make a little fun out of it. But so that's what you have to do. It's their district. But when I said about going there, I said that in a few years we're going to win that district, and you have to have that mindset. Or what are you really doing, right?
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, like I believe, you know, and we're coming for them next year, you know, we're coming. Like, we don't care. You know, we're gonna work hard and we're gonna work to beat you. We want to end the streak. And then that'll be a great story, right? So let's go do that. Let's go write our own story.
So does anybody else, like, do y'all have any questions? I'm not trying to like wrap it up. I just had one, but I wanted to make sure y'all, if nobody else had one before I start.
I know Amanda has one, right, Amanda?
What?
On the spot again.
A question.
You literally texted in the
The
group
one
chat.
that's in the group chat?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, you sent something in the group chat?
Yeah.
Not just now, but
Oh.
We wanted
Dude.
to know, well, mainly me. Are you an Eagles fan?
Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Eagles fan.
I'm a Jalen Mills fan. Yes, I am.
I'm a
They
Jalen Mills
also got
fan
a
too.
kid-
I'm a
Hey.
Jalen Mills. He said
Hey, everyone.
Tigers, bro.
They also got a kid, the Jalen kid from Waxahachie. Right, they got the receiver right from TCU.
Yeah.
Oh, Jalen Rager.
Yeah, he's good friends with Kadarian, with KD Nixon and those guys. So he's been to DeSoto a few times. So and watching them battle during like 7-on-7. That kid can play. That kid's a beast. Trust me. They sleep on him. He's a good player. Eagles not
we
sleep, but
were a little nervous when they picked him over Justin Jefferson, not gonna lie.
hey, this kid, but he's got the DNA. His daddy was a professional. He's got the DNA. Trust me on that. The kid's from Texas.
that's true.
Don't worry, guys. And I'm a Cowboys fan, so
Oh, man.
Oh,
I'm just being honest,
Pinchback, great coach.
I'm just being honest. I mean, now are they the greatest team right now? No, but we got a lot of trophies that y'all don't. So I'm just gonna leave that at that because I like you guys.
Relax. I'm a Broncos fan, so we got trophies.
I mean, you got Von Miller over there, so he's another Texas guy.
We got rings.
It's gonna, but y'all hurting right now though.
For the Broncos?
Yeah, a little bit. Y'all trying to find yourselves.
We just had the best draft. Maybe top 3. You know who we picked? We have Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna see.
But we're in the same division as Patrick Mahomes, so I don't expect us to do anything.
Hey,
That's
I'm just saying.
Hey, I was talking about Jay Mills though. This kid, like in practice, I mean, it was just the when we'd have like one-on-ones, because we had D1 receivers, we had D1 corners, safeties. So it's like, because there'd be 25, 30 D1 coaches that are down there, like every big name. But the battles that he would have and the things that he did in practice, it was incredible. Like you knew he was going to be a pro, and he worked hard. He was a good leader. But
this story's true, but I heard he dyed his hair green because they were like, we're not going to play you unless you show us that you're all in for the Eagles, and he dyed his hair green. I don't know if that's true. That's what I heard, and I thought that was really cool.
He said he keeps dyeing his hair green too. He has.
I mean, that's the Goblin. That's the Goblin. He's very smart. Very smart.
That's how everyone knows him, so.
No, he's I'm gonna see. I'll visit with him at some point just to see if he could come and speak. That would be. I just want to use some of the resources. The first year you can't do it because you got a lot going. Now we did have kids. They did call in. We had kids from art. I mean, they're calling the kids, and I play the video before the game. Like they're giving back to the program. But I'm just saying, more at a higher level for every program. So
yeah.
Because I talked to Cyrus the other day, Cyrus Gray, and he was just like, "I got you, coach." So. I mean, he has NFL experience. Tony Girardetti, NFL experience. I mean, there's just so many guys that we met. Patrick Creighton's a DeSoto guy, just to see if those guys want to give back. And I've already talked to Bolden, Marquise Bolden that was at Duke, and he can't wait to come visit with these kids. So we're trying to just give them something. We used to do that back home. We get ready to play Cedar Hill, and you got Von Miller calling in on the video right before you go out, and just like, it's crazy, right? So, and I did that at Lehman too. I shared with those guys just something different, like a group of guys. I had kids from TCU, Ferron Hunt at SMU, like they're all giving back, like, coach here. I said, hey, we got a big game, just throw something together. Mark Sasser from U of H, like they've all given to the program, Byron Hanspart at Baylor, those are all kids from back home. They're at the next level. His daddy was the running back in the NFL. So just want to share those things, right? And help, because it could help someone. We can't save everybody, but you can try to save everybody. And if you have other people saving other people, it builds. Because one kid might need to hear their story. Marcus Murphy, he's in the NFL. He was like on the B team at DeSoto, like his freshman year, and then the kid got hurt, and then he just blew up. He was at Missouri. He plays for the Bills. We got a lot of talented people that have a story. So I just want to, this next year, I want to keep, putting my roots down and letting some of these guys come help these guys and talk to the football team and, just build something that a lot of people are going to wish they had. And that's how you build something special. So you do things that not a lot of guys are doing, so.
I'm glad you brought up football, Coach, because obviously I know there are some things that we can't talk about on here about that, but just, with the coaching search going on over the next 2 weeks, I know you have a big belief in Miss Presley, the principal. And I was just curious just how excited you are to figure out who that new coach and athletic director ultimately is going to be to continue building, the entirety of San Marcos's athletic department as a whole. I know you've mentioned earlier, or you talked about all the sports earlier in the pod.
Yes. It's an exciting time. So we're just, that's a big piece of your sports, your school pride, who you are, there's football's it's Texas, right? So it's big. So this is an important hire because it could change your whole program. And if you get the right person in, it can propel everything. And that's part of the, that's part of the reason why I made my decision too. I am the person, right? I'm somebody's person. So you want to come back to that and build it. And when a guy turns down a job like DeSoto for San Marcos, then other people are going to want to, do something like that. Then you keep good coaches. Because that's what it's about, right? It takes a whole village to get this thing turned the right way. You want every sport to be successful. And you start having success in one sport, it kind of goes to the next. And this football coach is going to be huge, the athletic director, because the right guy could propel you to that new height. I'm just one person trying to show that what I think is the right decision. But if other coaches will do that and stay in, because these kids haven't had that, they leave. Good coaches will come and go, right? But I mean, I was like, like it was poker. I'm all in. Here we go.
Yeah.
And,
Are you gonna dye your hair purple?
Yeah.
oh, there you go.
Bruh.
There you go.
That's not nice. That's
saying,
foul play on the JTM.
Hey, I think we need to mute him.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that's a mute. He's gone.
He's gonna be banned for the first few moments, man. We'll put it together. We'll let him earn his respect back, but
all right.
Respect.
Wait, I can unmute myself. I'm here wait, I know I can do this. I'm gonna mute it myself.
Hey, but the thing about it, the host can keep doing it. So
I know, dude. Could just
we're not gonna get.
I could keep you off, dog.
We're gonna think about that and do better next time.
Like LeBron.
I think it'd be okay.
Hey.
I'm just excited about what's coming, so we just got to keep working. We're all going in the same direction to make it great, so I definitely want to do some things with y'all, whatever you need, and the team will do things to help you guys because what you do for us. So once we get going, any of those things, invite us to come do those things. We enjoy being around you. And you're always open. When we're there working, you're always welcome. So you guys are going to have the insight that no one has. Because if you want your program to be different, you have to show different levels to it, and you guys do a good job of you're not looking for a story, right? You're just not looking for one. You just want to come give back to the kids. And so the things that we talk about when we talk about them, that's what we have. And then when it's time for business, we go and you promote the program. I mean, it's fun, right? Coach's Corner, just crazy stuff. That's what it's about, and you're the platform that we can tell our story to, so it's about, that's how you grow in the community. So what you're doing is important. So do it to your best ability every day, like the way you attack it. And don't be nervous, it's in you already. Have confidence, it's in you. You're in the right place. You're on the right path because you love what you do. And so that's why it's so much fun. Like, that's why we can sit there for hours and just talk or whatever. Like, it's just, we all have a vision, and we all make that vision seen to people that might not have ever seen our story or seen what we got going on, but you're going to attract them in. Like, let's go see what those Rattlers are doing. And that's what it's about. Because I want to pack the place. That's the dream, right? So we want to pack the place and we want to have a home court advantage like no other, and that's what I'm trying to help establish with these kids. And that's what we're trying to help establish, the coaches. And we got a good group of coaches that work hard every day for the kids and care about them. And we're all going in the same direction. And they love hanging out with you guys, especially Nap. I couldn't invite Nap this time. This is our moment. Don't tell him I said that, though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's recorded. So.
Yeah.
It's being funny, but
Hey.
next time. But we just need to keep doing what we're doing. But anything that we can do to help you guys, for sure. Like, at Texas State or whatever. I said maybe one day I want to talk on your commercials so I can help support you guys, because as much as y'all do for us, so just to whatever we can do. So
let's make it happen.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just whatever we can do, man. Like, we're here for each other, so we're all gonna try to grow together. So, and then when it's because they're already gonna be jealous. Y'all talking about these Nike shirts that somebody gave y'all, so they're already jealous.
I don't know nothing about that.
Which one?
No, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. So, that's what it's about. It was like, y'all are very appreciative of that. And once you got them, like, you knew, like, you're in, right? So we're vested in you guys. So just like you're invested in us.
And just so I actually, there are two things like throughout that whole conversation that kind of came to my mind. One, when it comes to football, just wanted to give a shout out to Caduce and Cannon, because they've been tweeting about the show a lot. And I can see that you're trying to build that up too, because the Rattler Hoops Twitter account retweeted that poll that Cannon's in right now for the top defensive back prospect. I believe that ends like tonight. So,
yeah. Well, I may go do that too then. I just been super hectic and it's been crazy. So, it's a whirlwind, but he's a great kid.
Yeah.
Great kid. We have a lot of great kids at San Marcos, and it's going to be a place that people want to grow, and, they're going to have some excitement. And the way this place is growing, like, the sky's really the limit. So it's the perfect storm brewing down here. That's my take on it. It's perfect. So we just got to work at it every day. And that's what we're going to do. So sooner or later, we'll be able to have a little bit of normal time and, get back in the gym. And that way y'all can come hang out, and we'll put y'all on the shooting machine and let y'all get loose. I know Deshaun wants to get loose, so we'll let y'all get loose.
I'm waiting for the 5-on-5.
Play, so.
The 5-on-5. Oh, God, dude, I'd get destroyed.
Hey, but we would definitely laugh and love every minute of it.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, for real. That would be hilarious.
They'd be making fun of us.
I got clamps on Caden.
Hey, we'll do something like that. Don't worry. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some time. You'll have more time, and you can come out and we'll do what we do just to keep it going. That way you always be on top of what's going on in the program. But we really want to give back a little bit more this year. We did some things, but we want to do more things, because the first things that we did when we got here is we went and talked to the chief of police and the fire chief, and we just want them to know that you're incorporated into our program, because we're trying to build a community thing. And we wanted our kids to see those guys in a different light, so you're not scared of maybe being pulled over. You have a relationship with some of these police officers, and so they were all about it. They're all about that, and we just got to build it more. The first year is kind of hectic. You're pulled in so many directions, so you're trying to establish things and they're good things. We went to every school, opened up the doors for the kids, every school in San Marcos. And so that's what you do. Just giving, because once you do that, then you'll receive. But we just want to get a routine so we can do more of those things, because it's important. Those kids' faces sometimes was just like, wow, so you have an effect on them. And then they want to be a Rattler. Like it's a small, West Texas, like the town shuts down for football and to those sports, and that's what you want. So that's what you want to build. Like, even though it's a big place, we want to have that small town feel, and we want, Texas State kids coming down here and supporting our kids and getting our kids to go to Texas State and do things with them and just incorporate that whole two different programs, because it's really one San Marcos, and they're an asset. So that's the vision. They practiced at our place before, and we're just trying to – I know Coach Casper.
I was just about to ask that. That's awesome.
He's really good friends with Coach Dyer. He recruited a few of our players and, before he came this way. So you're building that relationship and letting the kids know, look, the way I see it, we should have a kid going to Texas State every year.
That's what that's what I've been saying.
That's what it should be like, guys.
For real.
That's what I have to establish, and that's what we have to establish. And I say I a lot, but it's not me. I'm just, how I am. All my guys play a part. There's been big games where I let assistant coaches draw plays up because it's a belief thing. Like, and it's bigger than me. So maybe I should stop doing that. But we're very driven. We're all in the same. So I believe in them, and they believe in me. And so, no, that's the way it should be. Because I was in San Angelo, so I went to Angelo State. You should have a kid or two going over there. And we should have some of those Texas State people wanting to come see what, be vested in what's going on. Like, this could be a future Bobcat. Like, but it's baby steps, right? So you're seeing the vision though, right? It's not just, like we always say, like, this is not checkers, guys. This is not checkers. We have a plan, and you guys are helping with the plan, and we're trying to help you. Like, it's just, when you're doing it for the right reasons, people come together that all have the same love in their heart, So, but we want it should be big. We should have a kid there every year. And that's something that we got to work on. And that's what we're going to keep working on to get those kids ready to be players. And Texas State's going to be like, yeah, we got to get that kid, So it's like I said earlier, it's the perfect storm. It's the perfect place. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm home.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I think we're super excited for that. And just one thing, I don't know if you know this, but that is getting started a little bit, because this year in Texas State football's recruiting class, he went to JUCO first, but his name was Alex Castilla. Yeah, so he'll be on the football team. And I think, like you said, I really think that's just the start of it. I think more guys, like you said, are going to start going there. I think Coach Spavital realizes that that's something that's super beneficial.
Yeah. And when you speak with them, tell them I'd love to meet them and just sit down and visit with them, like, and welcome him to San Marcos. I'm sure the football coach will do those things too, but I mean, I like football, so, and I got some kids, there's a few kids that play over there from back home. So, I mean, we had some DeSoto kids. I was going to watch, Rushing used to play there. I think he just graduated, but Jalen Nelson, I know that kid, and Josh Dubin, he's from Cedar Hill, grew up with my kids. And so I'm all about it. I'm fired up too. And if we can help them, let them know we'd be willing to help those guys too, because it's a community thing, and they're part of the community, and so are we. Because what I hear is kind of just been, Texas State dominates, but we got to do our part too to build that relationship, and I'm going to do that, and we're going to do that, and San Marcos is going to do that. We're going to build that relationship and keep it, because they should shop here first in every sport. We got to do our part, and when you have some success, that's what comes with it. And we're gonna work to build that and to make it flourish, because they do a lot for San Marcos High School, just academically, with Denisha and the leadership, what they're doing with that is great. It's what it should look like, that they come and student teach, so it's great. So we have to just keep that relationship and make it grow, and it needs to be one San Marcos, just we all represent each other. So that's my dream, just to build something greater than yourself, that once you leave, it's going to be there, and that you played a small part in it, and you had a lot of people that were helping you along the way, and I won't even say people, just have family helping you because we're all going in the same direction. So.
Yeah.
One step at a time, and we're just happy and excited to bring a platform for all these amazing players coming up, because there is just so much talent and heart and family, as you see on the shirt and mottos. Just San Marcos is all about family, and we're just glad to provide a platform for everybody who doesn't know about San Marcos. They need to know.
And they will, because we'll earn it. We'll earn that together, and they're going to know about you guys and how much you care. And, maybe one day this here is going to propel you to be something greater than yourself, and you're going to be able to hit a platform that it's like transformational. You never know. So that's why we're together. That's why we're all in this. We're going to learn from each other, and we're going to grow, and we're going to help each other, and we'll be there in tough times. And, when people make jokes about hair color and things like that, we'll be there together.
Oh my God.
He didn't throw any names.
No. You can unmute him now. I think he's been punished long enough. He's a good guy.
I didn't realize he was even muted.
I think he might have muted himself.
Yeah.
For his punishment phase.
He needed some time. He had some inner reflection and realized, okay, no, it's my time to take a step back. Jude doesn't need to mute me. I'll do it for myself, earn the respect back.
That self-discipline is great.
Self-discipline.
Hey, yeah. And you have been self-disciplined recently, Deshaun. I know you've been getting on the workouts recently. I've been seeing it on your Snap stories, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
Get that word.
He said give him 6 months. He'll be back in basketball shape.
Let him get it. He can come help. I'll put him to work.
I'm ready.
I've seen some of his clips. I got a spot for him.
Whoa! You see some of my clips.
Hey, I do my homework, player.
Relax. Didn't reach those heights yet.
Yeah, I definitely do my homework. So, yeah, in fact, we have an interesting family here, guys. So there's a lot. It's great. It's really great. So,
I know you mentioned you do your homework. So this is a question that I've had, and I mentioned a little bit earlier, and I know we've been going for a while now, and I don't know how everybody's feeling, but I have one question. So how did you find out about us? Like, I know I had the KTSW sports shirt on, like when we met at the football game, but like, other than that, how did you know? Did you just see it on Twitter, or how did that happen?
I do my homework, man. Now you want me to give all my secrets away? You sound
fine.
Hey, you sound like a coach I know that he'll be talking about, hey, tell me how to do this. And I said, okay, we'll talk about it. He was like, and I want every drill. And I was like, hold on. I like you, but you asking for a lot. But yeah, I was on Twitter and I saw some of your work. I could just tell. So something I wanted to be a part of because you were vested. And that's a big word. You guys are invested in what you do. And so you're invested in the kids and telling their story and promoting athletics and promoting, this thing that we do in sports. And so we were going to be vested in you guys. And that's the approach I took. I started following and learning more and doing those things. So it was going to happen. Trust me. It's just getting settled in, and I was still learning the place, and, I'm trying to get these kids going, but it wasn't, you guys aren't hard to find. If you're down for San Marcos and you're giving back, and, some of you, like y'all were saying, y'all wouldn't have even really listened, but then it just took one strike of one match to kind of get the rest of it kind of going and building some heat. And that's what we see in San Marcos. There's a lot of good coaches here that care about kids and want to be successful and change the way we're viewed. So that's what it's about.
Well, my last question was, I know the Jordan documentary has been rolling the past 3 weeks. So and you talked about just the DNA championship, the DNA that you have to be a champion. And you saw what Michael Jordan went through, obviously, in 93 when they finished the first three-peat, and, well, technically 92, 93, but they finished the first three-peat, and he talked about how he was physically and mentally drained.
Yeah.
How do you push past even that point of exhaustion exhaustion when you're trying to be a champion?
Well, that's part of the process of becoming one, because you got to fight through that. Because, they say, fatigue will make cowards of us all. So if you're tired, that's what we're looking for. We run the kids. Our practices are tough, like it's up and down. And in the fourth quarter, they still have some juice. And some of those other guys are tired. And that's why in the third and fourth quarters, like, we make some really monster runs because they're in shape. And you have to – this game is more mental. And you have to push them mentally because they're going to be in shape physically. They're going to go hard, but it's mental. So that's when you start separating some of those mistakes that we were talked about and doing some of those things. So you have to be mentally tough to be a champion. And Jordan, he's super mentally tough, and that's who I grew up watching. And you always wanted the ball at the end of the game. If you're a champion, you may not make that shot every time, but at least a lot of guys run away from that shot. The mentality is you got to run to that shot. Everybody's got to want to be that person to make that shot. And I'm big on mental. See yourself making that shot. See yourself making the pass that led to the shot. See yourself making the pass that led to the pass that made the shot. But we all win. If the shot goes in, we all win. And each person played a part. The person that did the second job is no more important than the person that did the last job, which was shooting the shot. It's a mindset. But you got to be mentally tough because you're going to go through some adversity. Every game is a game of runs in basketball. They're going to make a run. How are you going to respond? Because you have to make your run and you got to get a stop. At the end of the day, you got to get a stop. So we're going to keep preaching, and eventually they're going to get it, and we're just going to keep hammering it, and then they're going to just do it. They're going to do those extra things. And when that happens, it's going to be a special sight, man. And they're deservingly so. They're going to get the recognition because they're going to put in the work, because you can't put in the work and not, if you don't put it in, you won't be a champion. You have to put it in. There's no shortcut to success.
So, Coach, when you look at your previous championship teams and you look at the team coming in next season for San Marcos, what are some of the similarities, like in the early process, that you see, and what will it take for this San Marcos team to get to that championship level?
They have a couple of things. Two things that stick out is they're hungry, but the most important is they love each other. And when you got a group of guys that really care for each other, then you're going to do something special, because it's bigger than just – those kids don't care who takes the last shot. They just care about making the shot and winning and celebrating. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of egos on there. But you got to coach them that way too. It's all a process, because some of them don't know. AAU's different. It's all about you, right? AAU, like, see me. And I want to give them some of that, because that's just the way the game is. But learn learn when to take over and learn when not to, and just be smarter. And as they grow and get smarter, they're going to get more stronger and all those things, and have more mental reps, and they're going to be good. So there's a lot of things that are going on to get this thing right, but at least we're able to talk about it and share some of the insight of what it takes to be great. And we want to be great, not just on the court or field, but we got to be a great community, and we got to be great students and great sons and brothers and sisters, and then you'll get that total reward. So it all plays a part, and that's why we're here, helping guide these youngsters on that path, and having a little bit of fun along the way, and spending time with each other. So,
well, Connor, Amanda, y'all got any final questions before we kind of end this thing out? I have one more, but I lied earlier.
Yeah, you said what do you think?
Yeah,
that's the common theme.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Look like you need a nap, Amanda.
Amanda looks like she's got the
Roll that. Why?
Yeah, as soon as I said that, I was like, I don't know if that was a good idea.
Don't worry, you're in trouble, buddy.
Well, while we still can, let's get away from that. No, but seriously, could you just, if you're cool with this, would you be able to just talk about, like, just give a platform? Like, obviously this isn't for KTSW. This is just on my personal show that I'm trying to do to build myself up. But seriously, I want to give, these kids a platform in any way. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of liked San Marcos, because you could tell anything was genuine even before, like, I met you. I knew it with Coach Soto and the football team as well. And, like, just being, growing up in Kyle, like, I kind of knew that I know in San Marcos there's a lot of kids with, like, that come from low income areas, and they wouldn't get that, exposure, like, without what we do.
Right.
And me personally, like, obviously I've been blessed with a lot of things, but to be honest with you, like, my parents have been divorced since I've been like 10 years old, and it's just been me and my mom and my grandma. And because of my grandma's salary that she gets from retirement with my grandpa, who was in the military, as well as my uncle, who was in the military, they both passed away, but that she gets, what they had. Right. But without that, we'd be living in an apartment. My mom only makes like $30K. So I know how important that is. So just in this kind of last segment, could you just give a platform to some of those, some of your players that you have? Could you just talk about them? I know you love them, obviously, and I know you like to talk about them as well, but specifically just go through some of those players you have, if you're cool with it, and just, give them this platform, because this will go on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that stuff. And we just want to, just showcase them.
And no, I'm with you on that. And I could talk about them. Let's have them come talk about themselves. Let's put that together. Like, let's have our time, and we'll make our circle a little bit bigger and let them tell their story. And because I could do that. Yeah. I could talk about those guys, and deservedly so. But I think they would enjoy that more, Yeah. Now I tell them, I guess, I don't know, people want to see them, so they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to fix something. Yeah. So, our earlier conversations, but let's look into letting the kids tell their story. For sure. I'd love it. Our team on there, and we can do things like that. And then we can just, whatever comes to mind, and we can just have conversations like we've been doing. I think that would be great. I think I would be better. I
think so too. I agree.
Not that I couldn't, but let them tell, let them come get, we have to teach them how to be speakers and how to just things we got to teach the kids other than basketball. I'm a basketball coach, but we have to teach them more than that, because one day the game could be gone realistically. And that's what I try to tell them, these seniors, like, go hard every day, because soon you won't have practice ever again. And then you'll wish you went home. And I've been there, but some people listen, some don't. But these kids, the younger ones, they're going to get it, because they're going to see, like, we're just trying to help them to achieve those things. But I think they would love that. And, we can have a little fun with those guys and talk. And they're excited. They're excited. But their story needs to be told. And
for sure.
We got there's a young kid another freshman that they moved him up like the last few games to JV. He's going to be good, guys. So I'm excited. Like, he's going to be a player that's going to help us next year, and he's under the radar, but we're going to bring him out because he can shoot, and he's athletic. He can rebound. Mateus, he's going to be a sleeper, I didn't know he was as good. Like, I guess sometimes you get caught in, I didn't think he was as good as the other freshmen. I thought he was a good freshman. I just didn't know if his motor was enough to handle that. You know what I mean? So as we started going, and you learn him, and he really surprised me. Like, he's a kid that I haven't really talked a lot about. I've mentioned him. Yeah. But he's one of those kids that's going to sneak up on people, and they're going to be like, whoa. And I'm excited. But there's going to be more of those type of kids, But once you believe in certain things, like, your potential it's unbelievable where you can really go. So he's going to make a name for himself. Plus, he's got good DNA. His dad's big. He's back on that DNA, man. That's the West Texas thing, I guess. The Coach McRuffin that was at Tech, the D coordinator, a while back, he was like, it's all about DNA. And you think about it, it is. But he's got some good DNA. you know, and then we have Austin. He's got good DNA, and they come from solid backgrounds. But let them tell it.
Yeah.
We'll do it together, and we'll have fun because I know they'll be down for sure. So whenever y'all want to put that together, let's do that for them, and they
For
can
sure.
talk about whatever we talk about.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that sounds like some new plans at the end of this episode. Before we end this thing off, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit after we go off air. But what anything else from everybody else before we shut this thing down and we get this thing up tomorrow?
It's a process. I think in all this, it takes time. You know, it takes time to build something, and I'm just looking forward to seeing not only what next year holds, but years down the road what's going to hold. And I can't wait to come back one of these days when I'm doing my job or whatever and seeing where this community is, because there's just so much potential. And every time I go back and see what's going on, I'm always excited because I know something's going on. It's a great experience for me and for everyone involved. And I'm just really excited for what's going to happen next.
I would try to have a player mindset, like ever since playing basketball. So I kind of I'm very, very excited to see what the growth has been over the summer. I know you can't really you can always work on your game, but just to see where they are as freshmen to now being sophomores, and then the switching of districts, which can make it a little bit lighter just to see. But I'm really excited to see them and see where they go in their careers, because I know for sure they are college players. Like, it's not even a doubt. And as long as they believe it, which I see you instill in their minds every single day, every single practice. And I wish I had a coach like that all the time. So just as long as you keep doing that and they're going to continue to be on the right path, they're going to be great Division I, Division II. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
College players.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I mean, that's what it's about. So we're trying to get them all into school. It doesn't matter the level. Anything we can do to help, you know, but they're a special group and they're going to have opportunity. Some of those really good players are going to bring coaches in here, and that's going to give opportunity for the other players. And that's how you establish your program. You know, it's just about giving back, being bigger than yourself. Yes, they're coming in here for me, but if I can help my little brother shine, why not? Like, because I always tell the kids, it's not who they come in talking about, it's who they leave talking about. That's how you make your way. I mean, that's how we did it back home, and that's what we're going to give them the same thing. You know, when they're here, you got to be on it and be hungry and compete and let them say, who is that kid? So and they're going to have that. And that's going to be something San Marcos hadn't really had. So that's part of the process of building your program, you know, just getting the word out. There's people are talking about us. We talked about rankings earlier, you know. It's good to be noticed, but you got to put in the work. You know, either you earn that ranking or you let that ranking earn, you know, a season you don't want to have. You know, if you just, you know, we used to call it eating the cheese. Don't eat the cheese. So just put in the work and they'll talk. Do it the right way and they'll talk. And what you're seeing is some of that labor they put in is they're having some success. People want to see them play. People are recognizing them, which they haven't been doing. So we're doing something right. We're going to keep doing it right. And you guys play a part, just like I said.
And
Everybody's just asking
like, man, you better say something right now. Yeah.
no, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Gosh, I'm excited too. I'll say it.
Yeah.
You are crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Calling me out. I've eaten all day. I'm just like,
You haven't eaten?
no.
Well, when the call's over, have Jude. What are you doing, man? Order.
Bro, order some delivery.
He said order something.
Some Chinese.
Oh man.
Jude,
Am I about to favor it just to her address, even though
Yes, you know her
she's
address.
in Round Rock, I'm in Kyle. Just
You better use the closest address.
Yeah. Hey, and you know, when the time comes, everyone's like, "Well, where did San Marcos come from?" I didn't. We'll be here.
So,
We'll know, and we know exactly what you're all about and what this program's about. As always, we love talking to you, Coach, and just appreciate you taking your time and just talking with us. So really do appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Like I always said, it's all thank you. So just keep doing what you're doing because we need it. We need all that support that you give and all the love, and then it'll start growing. We're gonna be fine, So one day we're gonna all be big time. So we're gonna win some awards like Amanda's winning awards. We're gonna win some awards. So we're all gonna be big time.
Oh my gosh! So
I'm
I know
winning some bigger awards.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know like 3 times I've said I have one more thing to say, but I remember one thing that I did want to share with you.
6, but nobody's counting.
Yeah. So
Jude.
one of the things, like, I remember because I was listening back to some of the tape, and it happened to be the game where before it was after there had been, a couple of losses in a row, and you said, hey, we need to do some bonding time, that we had to do that. And you said, my daughter told me something about the word family and how it stands for forget about me, I love you. I just want to say that, like, I told that to my mom, and that's like something that, like, in our house, we really like try to like live by now. So I want you to know, I just wanted you to know that, like, I know it's just like a sports interview, but like we've been talking about this whole time, it's more than that. Even if it's just, on the college radio station at Texas State, like, that's the stuff that you're putting out in that sense. I mean, that's helping my mom. And, she's a respiratory therapist. Right. So a lot of this stuff that's been going on right now, she's been having to deal with it up front. So I just wanted to let you know that, like, saying things like that, I mean, that's something that's helped her through this time. And I think now this shirt is like an acronym.
Right. No, tell her thank you. And we appreciate it. And we're here, anything we can do to help. But that's what it's about. It's got to be, like, once she told me that, I was like, yup. And it was perfect, right? So that's something we'll always use because it's bigger than just that word. And the word's a big word.
Yeah.
But that's how you try to get the players to play. It's not about me. It's like, how can I make you better? And if you're better, we're all going to be better. So they have to be selfless, and we can't be, this is a day and age of, they're selfish, right? So getting this generation, like, to buy into that, that's the toughest part. But if they do it, it'll be the most rewarding part because that's how you become a champion. It's got to be more than just you. It's the guy next to you. For sure. So thank you for saying that. I told my daughter that, so she appreciated it. But it's true, right?
For real.
So for a long time too.
See, I know it was something quality that I had to get in.
Quality. I'll cry by the end of this.
You have one more though.
Me?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm done now. Yo, okay. Actually, yes, you reminded me of that. I didn't get to get this in earlier because everybody was talking about it. But all I'm saying, we talk about Texas. They got the best athletes. I'm saying, but for football, it's the state to the left of it. If you're looking at it on a map, the boot. I'm telling you, bro. You say what? Whatever. Hey, who whooped the whole league this year? I'm sorry.
I mean, they have some good gumbo over there. I mean, I get that.
Yes. I'm just saying the majority, ever since Coach O got there, they've been recruiting Louisiana and Texas. With that being said, the team is mainly made up of either Texas or Louisiana. So I'm not trying to say that they're the better athletes. I'm just saying for football, I'm just saying.
For football,
the boys from the boot. You're saying no?
Did you watch the draft, dude? Every 2 people, it said somewhere from Texas. I kid you not. Like everybody should have just been from.
I'm
Texas.
Just saying the most complete college team.
I have an LSU jumpsuit because one of my kids played over there, so he laced me up. But I respect that. LSU. I mean, they had Money Mills over there, so
yeah.
I get you that.
It's crazy.
I wish I could mute you right now, but
I'll tell you I'm gonna get muted. I'm just saying.
Right.
Where were they all from? I will admit, a lot of those guys like Kalavon, Chason, he got drafted, Grant Delpit, they grew up, they evacuated from Katrina, to be fair. But they were in Houston though. They were,
when I went to DeSoto, that's when we had a lot of kids. That's when Katrina came.
Yeah. I was through that too. That was awful.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. It was a crazy time, man. He goes, boy from the H.
All right. Well, anyways, I had to get that 2 cents in.
I'm with you. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm going to spend time with my wife and my family. So appreciate you guys, and thank y'all for coming in and having conversations. So it was good, but you already knew it was going to be good, and
For real.
we did it, the right way. We're all in here together for the first one, so that's what it's about. So
I'm sure this will happen again too. We'll get the
Right.
players. We got to get Knapp in. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be funny when we get him in.
I got you. So,
The coach knows.
yeah, he may want one screen all to himself, guys. So,
He's gonna.
Oh, you can do that on Zoom.
so,
Well, all right.
appreciate it.
If any more of the KTSW people and of course Coach Pinchback have anything to say before we leave, now speak. I'm done for real. I'm muting myself.
You have to close out the show, though. What are you talking about?
Forever.
Yeah,
Okay. Until then. Let me finish my sentence, people. Anyways, what does anybody have anything to say, or forever hold your peace? Nah, we're good.
I just want to say thank y'all and take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, I know you always say no, thank you, but seriously, from us, thank you for real. I mean, this has been so enjoyable. So
Appreciate it.
I guess with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. This has been the 3rd edition of the KTSW Chat. Got to end it out with all my friends from KTSW and more than friends from KTSW. We'll see you guys.
The KTSW dad, guys. Come on.
Yes, and the KTSW dad himself, Steven Pinchback. We'll see you guys.
You guys
next
are
time.
crazy, man.
For real. All right. Catch you guys later.